Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum student. I am Dr. Atta Rehman. In this class we will introduce the biological molecule, chapter number 2. Biological molecule are those molecules which is present inside the cell, and these molecules react with each other and form different other molecules, and by the decomposition of these molecules we obtained energy and different precursors for a cell. Because there is two things, cells and a chemical and molecules involved inside the cell, so therefore a new branch is introduced. It is known as biochemistry. It is also defined as biochemistry is also defined as the study of chemical components and chemical process in living organisms. Why we study biochemistry? Biochemistry is one of the important branch. It helps to understand all the process takes place inside the living organisms. It also informs the abnormal mechanism takes place inside the cell, and these abnormal mechanisms are the biggest cause of diseases. Therefore, we also discuss in this branch some challenging and fundamental problems related to biology. Biochemistry also helps in the development of medicine. The next important terminology is macromolecules. Macromolecule is a large, highly organized molecule which form the structure and carried out the activities of a cell. Macromolecules are made up of many low molecular weight subunits called monomers. Because all the macromolecule consist of a same repeating units. Macromolecule is a very large molecule, but it consists of a same repeating units, and each repeating unit is known as monomer. And therefore a term polymers is also used for the macromolecules. The another name of macromolecules is also a polymer. Macromolecules can be divided into four major groups. These are the four major types of macromolecules present inside the living cell. Number one, and the main constituent, is protein. Second one is the carbohydrate, lipids, and the last one is nucleic acid. Nucleic acid is also known as DNA and RNA. First we discuss one of the largest macromolecule inside the living cell. Protein is the next most abundant molecule inside the cell after water. Protein consists of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Sometimes it also contains phosphorus and sulfur. Due to the presence of nitrogen, this compound is also known as nitrogenous compound, and the decomposition of protein produce amine, urea, and uric acid in different living organisms. So that's why we also use the term nitrogenous compound for the protein, because protein is the only molecule inside the body which can contain nitrogen. As we discuss, protein is the second most abundant molecule inside the living cell, and the percentage of protein is 50% derived of a cell. Protein are present in all types of cells, in all parts of a cell. Chemical composition of proteins. Protein are the polymer of amino acids. All the proteins consist of a repeating unit, consist of amino acid repeating units. So protein is a big and large molecule, and it consists of a same repeating units, and each repeating unit is known as amino acids. So what is amino acid? It's the general structure of amino acid. Amino acid, the general structure of all the amino acids are almost similar. It consists of a 4 major parts attached with the alpha carbon atom. It's the alpha carbon atom, and alpha carbon atom attached with 4 other groups. Number 1 is a hydrogen atom attached with the alpha carbon. The next important group is a amine, NH2 group, and due to the presence of this group, amino acid show a basic characteristics. There is another important group, and this group is known as carboxylic group. And carboxylic group give acidic property to the amino acid. Amino acid contain both basic as well as acidic group, amine and carboxylic group. That's why amino acid is an amphoteric molecule. The most important group in the amino acid is a R group, which is also known as a functional group. There are 20 kinds of amino acid reported in all the living organisms, and the difference between amino acid is the only a difference in the R group. For example, there are serine is an amino acid. It contains CH2, and alanine is the another amino acid which contains CH3 instead of R group. So amino acid mainly different in the R group. Peptide linkage or peptide bond. As we noted, protein consists of amino acid, and these amino acids join together with the help of a bond which is known as peptide bond. Peptide bond is formed by the condensation of 2 amino acids. 2 amino acids combine, and 1 amino acid give hydroxyl group from the carboxylic side, and the another amino acid give hydrogen from the amino group, and by the condensation of water molecule, these 2 fragments unite and form another molecule. This molecule is known as peptide molecule, and the bond present between these 2 subunits is known as a peptide bond. Types of protein on the basis of structure. We have 4 kind of different structures of proteins. One is known as primary structure, secondary structure, tertiary structure, and quaternary structure. Primary structure consists of a polypeptide chain having a linear sequence of amino acid. For example, insulin are the example of primary structure. The next type is the secondary structure. Secondary structure consists of polypeptide chain of amino acid become spirally coiled. This coiling results in the formation of rigid and tubular structure called helix. Lysozyme is an example of secondary structure. A third and most important structure is tertiary structure. Polypeptide chain bends and folds upon itself, forming a globular shape. It is maintained by 3 types of bond: ionic, hydrogen, and disulfide bond. The fourth important structure is quaternary structure. This type is usually present in highly complex protein in which polypeptide tertiary chain are aggregated and held together by hydrophobic interaction. There is also hydrogen and ionic bonding is present. Hemoglobin is an example of quaternary structure. The last part of the lecture is the function of proteins. Protein is a very important and most abundant component in a living cells. They build many structure of a cell. For example, plasma membrane and membranes of other organisms. It is also present in a cytoplasm in a free form, in a form of amino acid, in a form of peptide chains. All enzymes are protein in nature. That's why protein in the shape of enzyme control all the metabolism of a cell, all the chemical process of the cell. It is also present in our structure, external features like skin, nails, hair, feather, etc. Protein is also responsible for the stimuli. It is also present in a milk in a form of casein. Albumin is also one of the important protein which is present in egg white. It helps in synthesizing and repairing of DNA. Our bone also contains a protein known as collagen. It is also present in cartilages and it is the most abundant protein in higher vertebrates. Protein also act as an antibody, antigens and fibrin. Antibody is one of the important component of our immune system or defense systems. Antibodies fights against the infectious organisms, microorganisms, and defend our body from different diseases.